Yeah, welcome back to the round 18 edition of the Sunday Roast. Me and Jev obviously go through all the teams. I'm visibly upset as the Blues got absolutely dog walked by the Dogs. And Jev gives it to me. Jev, it's a pretty good episode.
Yeah, I tease a little thing where I don't think Carlton would have one defender outside of Jacob Weitering in any other top 8 backlines. I think they've got the worst backline in the competition. I think Weitering covers a lot of cracks. I think their talent is average. The Showtime Swans get back on the winning list, Dars. We've tipped Collingwood, or we've gone at Collingwood's list, actually. We know they're not winning the flag. We've gone at their list.
It's a good show, Jev.
Welcome back to the Sunday Roast, the show that roasts the losers and celebrate the winners, the show that gives you all the best odds of the bets we weren't on but we wish we were. Joining me as always, Darcy Balladome. How are you, brother?
Good, Jev. It is absolutely heating up in the ladder. We haven't done our ladder prediction yet. We said that we were going to do it maybe last week, but hopefully sometime over this week if we get a chance on the AFL app once this round is completed, because there is 2 teams on 44 points. So obviously the Swans on top. Carlton, Geelong on 42. You've got 2 points. 2 teams. So Freo and Essendon. And now Melbourne is 6th, Jev. At 40 Port Adelaide. So it's wild. It's absolutely wild. Once the Cats won the other night, we lost. I was like, fuck, we need Freo and Essendon to lose, which they both have. So it's a crazy... If you can pick what the 80s from now... You are a dead set genius.
And like, if Gold Coast lose today, they're on 32 points. If they lose today, they cost themselves. They're done. If they win, they're right in the hunt.
If Port Adelaide win, they're back to top. They'll
be top 4. Yeah. It's just unbelievable. Just looking at it live right now. Let's start all the way back at Friday night. Geelong just handled the Pies by 20 points. They were just too good. Talk to me.
Yeah, so the Pies actually did come out a little bit hotter, didn't they? So 4-5 to 3-5 in the first quarter.
So Geelong kicked the first 3 in about... They were 3 goals up by about the 4-minute mark. And everyone's like, that is over. And then the Pies, credit to them, bang. They just came back, different players, different goals. Yeah, it was good to watch.
What did you think about... How good was the the interview with Jeremy Cameron at the end of the game on 3AW? Yeah, I just no disrespect, but I really like the matchup. As soon as Quainer went to him, who makes that decision? So we had a chat to Stenny. Like, do you reckon Quainer goes up to McRae and says, "I want him"? Because you can't. One small mid out of form defender says, "I want the big bad wolf, Jev." No one says that.
You know. A lot of people know, because got a few DMs, that Isaac Quainer is the top of the myth list. He is up there on the myth list.
It was Philippou for a while, but he's off.
He kicked a nice snag last night. I don't know if you listened to Fireball Friday with Kingy and Corns, but they were like, they put Isaac Quainer in the gun, and they're like, I want to see something from Isaac Quainer. Does he walk into Craig McRae's office and say, I want Jeremy Cameron? And I want to know if Isaac Quainer was driving to a training.
Heard it.
And he knocked on the door of Fly McRae and said, give me Cameron. And Fly's like, you sure, Isaac? He's like, give me Jezza. And then he just got bathed. He was horrible. He was coming forward when he didn't have to. He was losing touch on Jez. He was trying to impact. He was missing kicks. Oh, he was so average.
What? That goal, that highlight that we posted with that video, try and defend that. You know when Jez Cameron just comes on, he's going full pace, like at, I don't even know what angle that is towards the goal, and that snap over the shoulder. He just gets so much purchase from everywhere. Now, also, one thing that we do want to touch on as well is the fact that Cowboy Neal was that toey. He kicked his first 2 goals and just said, I'm off.
Sub me off. Give me my Viagra. I am out of here.
Straight to Lammy's. And he was handing out wheelchairs all night.
Crutches and wheelchairs. Big Cowboy now. Oh, I had him for 3, 4, and 5.
So did I.
Just in the singles. And I was getting excited when he had 2 a quarter time. I'm like, oh, he's kicking another one. But Big Cowboy Neal just doesn't have a heap in the tank. He does after hours, though. In the bed, he's got a heap in the tank.
Does he what?
He's got a load again.
When he gets up on game day, it's like 48 hours until he goes to bed.
Yeah.
Old Cowboy Neal. By the time he gets up, prepares, plays, goes out, and then goes to recovery, It's a big day for Cowboy Neil, but he's a player, Jev. He's an absolute player. So what do you think about the Pies? Are we still putting a line through them? Where are they now? They're 11th.
I've been thinking about this a lot. If you take Nick Dacos out, is there a list worst in the AFL? So I'm just looking at the list, right? And I know they've got injuries. And I know they're missing key forwards and they're missing backs and everything. I'd take so I'm going to do this later with Carlton. If you were to draft the forward line between West Coast and Collingwood, the first two picks would be Jake Waterman, Oscar Allen.
Yep.
Fair. You go, there's not one backline player in form playing well that you'd like trust with your life. You got Sidebottom and Pendles probably 1 foot out the door. Pendles will probably go again. Sidey might be done. So there's two more players. Jordan De Goey, everyone says he's a big game player. Well, they're not going to play in another big game for a long time. If you're not, I reckon North Melbourne from next year onwards are in a better list position than Collingwood. Starting this preseason, going forward, I think I'd rather be North's list than Collingwood's list. Do you agree or disagree? I think Dacos is covering that many cracks. Have a look at some of the names. Kruger, Frampton, Richards, like Long, Harvey Harrison, Schultz. They've given up 2 firsts for Schultz. I think Bobby Hill's a star. Josh Dacos is having his worst season thing. Pendle Sidebottom are, older. John Noble's just a player. Oleg Markov, Will Hoskin-Elliott, Isaac Quainer, Darcy Moore's that out of form, and Braden Maynard. Like, you'd lick your lips coming up against that back six. Imagine when you play them later in the year and it's Charlie and Harry playing that back six.
Yeah, if we can kick straight. So here's one for you, Jev. This is a cracker. So next week, Hawthorn, Collingwood.
I think the Hawks are miles in front of them. And then they've got
the Tigers, and then they've got the Blues.
This is why you have to respect Collingwood so much.
The Pies are missing 8, Jev.
How they kept this game to 20 points they're just so well coached and they all know what they're doing out there. And you see, they make, like, their system makes guys like Harrison and stuff look like really good players, but they're bang on average.
So we can put a line through them now. So they're definitely, like, Jev, they're definitely not playing finals because they've got the Hawks, then they've got the Tigers, then they've got the Blues.
So they'll go, let's say 1-1. Let's say they beat the Tigers, but 1-1. Blues, they lose, so they're 1-2.
Swans.
Lose, 1-3.
Lions.
1-4.
Melbourne.
Let's just give them one more win. So they're going to go 2-4. So they're going to finish on 44 points, which is what Collingwood, Geelong are all on now. So they're going to finish probably 12th, 13th. They'll finish above the Crows. So where Gold Coast are now 13th. They're going to finish 11th, 12th, 13th without their first pick that goes to Freo. So Freo are getting a top 6 pick for Lockie Schultz. You're handing Freo, who I already think are borderline premiership favourites. I know there was a blimp yesterday, but fucking hell. They're in trouble. I think Nick Dacos covers up that many cracks. I think they're bang on average.
He needs a bit more help, doesn't he? So if you look at, especially when you look at side ass, it's 1 foot out the door. He had 28-1. There's still, they obviously went hey, let's top up. Let's just try and keep this good thing rolling. Like, let's go. Let's keep trying to win now. And it's probably going to bite them on the ass, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And yeah, they're going to have to play the Collingwood card to get big dog free agents. Like, they've already had a crack at Logan McDonald and missed and stuff. They're going to have to play we're the biggest club in the land, come to us. But that might become Carlton or Hawthorn again. Like, get the big, or Essendon even, get the big free agent, we're the biggest club. Like, I can't see them making final. I look around at the talent at the competition in forwards, backs, rucks. Like, they've probably got the worst ruck situation in the competition, or top 5 bad ruck situations in the comp.
Darcy Cameron's a nice player, but it's just like he's like in that system, you know what I mean? It's not just him just breaking out games. It's like him, and then when he was waxing his cocks a little bit, like it was working well, but Yeah, I don't know. So, me and you said at the start of the year, and we put money on it. So, Geelong to be top 4 was like $6 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So, they're looking like they're going to be a top 4 side.
Unbelievable.
They're just going to keep winning and roll their way into the finals. Which is
they are. And I remember all we said was how many games they played GMHBA at the end of the back end of the year. They just do not leave Melbourne for their last 10 rounds, except for once to West Coast and once to Tassie to play North. They're just going to keep winning games, and they're going to be a top 4 team again.
So what we really need to look at, so it doesn't matter at the end of the year where your wins and losses are. We're coming into the final month now, where usually in recent years, you've had a lot of teams that they've locked in their top 4 spots or whatever. Like they're playing finals, they can sort of taper off.
Yeah.
That's not happening this year. You can look at the Swans and they can taper off. Every single team is going to have this runway. So I feel we really need to look at especially the last 4 weeks and how hard teams are going. And there will only be a few more smaller changes within their sides. And once they lock them in, that's pretty much the side. It's almost going to be virtually impossible to get into any one of these sides unless there's an injury.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Or like you have the worst game of all time, like an Isaac Quainer.
Yeah. What do they call it? The Premiership runway.
Yeah.
I'm just quickly going through the top 8. Sorry, Das, for 2 secs. What team would Collingwood's key forwards right now get a game in? Don't worry about it. I'm just looking at the teams.
Yeah, where's Kruger getting a game in? Brisbane's forward line? No. Port Adelaide?
Maybe. Their forward line's average, but I still like Georgiadis. Marshall's okay. Dixon's done. Melbourne, maybe. I like Van Ruin. Fritsch is a good player. Cozzy, they do it a bit different. Essendon, no. Freo, no. Geelong, no. Carlton, no. Swans, no.
Nah.
And then Dogs, no. When it's Norton and Jamar and stuff, no. GWS, no. Hawthorn, probably not.
It's amazing because they build their game on pressure.
Yeah.
So much pressure. And once the pressure valve goes and everyone start playing like Will Hoskin-Elliott when he's out of form, it just doesn't work, Jeff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Geelong, how many uncontested marks did Geelong have? It was like 140 or something uncontested marks. Really? They just kept the ball from them and that game was...
Yeah, so they had 252 uncontested possessions to 192.
Yeah, and do they have the contested marks? Oh, it was so many uncontested marks, just chipping it around. That's what you do off pies because all they're doing is hunting a turnover and sprinting on, like front running when they get it. Yeah, I think I think Nick Dagos covers it. I reckon it's Adelaide at Gold Coast Stars. I reckon he's covering up that many cracks.
Yeah, whenever he didn't play when he got injured, because they were a top 8 side and they were looking for their first finals berth and then they went to soup. So let's have a look at some odds for this one. So Nick Dacos, there was a hamstring concern, but he seems to be okay. So he finished the game with 32, Jev. He was still $1.58.
He got thrown around by Jez Cameron. You see that one where he horse collared him and just tossed him?
He's got farm strength.
Yeah, he does.
He's just out there slinging barrels. You can't even get our man Johnny Noble.
For 25.
Nah, still side bottom was 212. Where's Noble? So Noble for 20 was 210, which is...
Not bad. I know Jeremy Cameron was $1.96 for 3, I'm pretty sure.
I just can't believe that the Cats just don't have big ball winners, and I love it.
Yeah.
So Max Holmes at 25 was $1.79, which is still pretty good. Grind Myers, he would have been paying a bit. 380.
That's nice. Tom Stewart, 25.
Nah, it's pretty short. $1.95 and some goal kickers. So let's have a look.
So Jez was $1.96 for 3, I believe.
Jez was $2.20.
$2.20. There you go. I got him at $1.96. I think everyone gobbled that up. Elliott and Richards for 2.
Elliott for 2 goals, $2.25. Richards, he's pretty lively, isn't he? Was he a sub? Oh no, $6.25 for 2.
That's real nice. And then Stengel and Neil. I think Neil was about $3.40 or something.
Neil for 2 that came in $2.25. Okay. Stengel was $1.73. So that's pretty much what you had on your Friday night footy. I finished work, came back. swapped trains to get home and forgot the footy was on. So I had to jump on with all the footy fans.
You're a sardine on the trains. Yeah. So I've already ruled out Collingwood for next year's finals, Dustin. This season hasn't even finished. Basically, that's what we're getting to. I think their list is in turmoil.
You know what Isaac Quainer needs to do in the off-season? Not do sprints on the treadmill the week after the grand final.
He needs to. Oh, fuck. I'm no comment. Let's go to the next game down in Tassie, early Saturday morning. The Hawks get it done. What a big win. Beaten Freo by 13 points. Your Hawks. It was the Wiz. There was one man that had to step up from the boundary, took a nice mark, and just went back and slotted it. I was super impressed. I didn't see much of this game because I was watching the Swans play, and you just can't watch both. I did see the Wiz kick the sealer, though. Talk to me, Dart.
Yeah, so I watched most of this game. The Dockers, it was goal for a lot of the stage. So I do have a bit of a not really a conspiracy. I just have a question. Where do the touches go in Tassie? Before we touch on where do they go? So you get a game of Marvel, you get a game of the G, and everyone fills their boots. The time goes for the same amount in the AFL, all across all competitions, doesn't matter what ground you play at. Even when they're up in the Northern Territory, all the Gold Coast players filled their boots, 30, high 30s, 40s, 25 touches. Where do they go? You look at disposals at Tassie, and the ball just must float in the air a little bit longer, or the grounds are a bit bigger because no one gets touches. So when we're gambling at Tassie, let's stay away from touches just because even our great man Caleb Sarong couldn't get 25 there. So that's the thing. It's not Caleb's fault. It's Tassie's fault. But it was definitely a good arm wrestle. So at 3/4 time, Jev, how much were they up by? Just like a goal, about 9 points Freo. And you thought, well, if they kick the first one here, it's game over.
Yep.
So the Hawks kicked one late at the end of the third quarter, and then John Newcomb got them going, kicked an unbelievable goal. Did you see that one out of a stoppage?
No, I didn't see it.
Forward 50 stoppage. Meek puts it down his throat, and Newcomb runs probably about 15 metres with it, like just to get out of a pack, kicks the goal, they get going. Sicily, I think his shoulder was still fucked. Like,
so he went full forward, didn't he?
So they put him forward because he just couldn't body up.
Yeah.
He kicked 3. He finished the game with 3 goals.
Yeah, he kicked 2 in a row.
Luke Bruce got an absolute, it's just some of the free kicks. He genuinely just pushed Aish in the back.
Yeah, right.
He was just standing there, but he just looked at the umpire, sort of shrugged the shoulders. They let him go. And then the Wiz went back looking like Odell Beckham, Jev, took the one-hander on the sideline, went down and just decided to fucking slot it and just put the ice in the veins. My man, the Wiz. I sent him a message and he liked it. So thanks, Wiz.
You did. That was good. Yeah, so it's unbelievable. Not one player's had over 25 touches. Will Day's the most with Warple, 24 and below. Yeah, I didn't see much of this game. Tell you what I did see, Das. And I want to know if everyone else saw this. In the last quarter, we knew we needed Sarong to get to 25. So I turned the game on with about 7 minutes to go. I'm like, right, he was on 21. I'm like, get to 25. I watched Lloyd Meek give Luke Jackson a bath for 7 minutes straight because Sarong's a clearance beast. So if Jackson's tapping it near him, he's getting the ball. And I just watch Meek body up and win every tap to Warple, to Newcomb. Moore was around there. Oh, yeah, I just watched him give him a bath. So that's basically all I saw from this game was Wiz slotted, Meek bath Jackson, and then big Josh Treacy right at the buzzer. He had to kick a snag to kick 2 to win some multis, and he's dogged it, Big Peter. He's only kicked his single.
He just faded it right, old Pete. Mind you, the Pizza Hut number is 131166. We might need to change his name to the Lubmobile number. What's that? 1332. So 131330. Because that's all he's not too big. But your man, Jev, Cole Shadir, he almost took a fucking hanger.
Oh, fuck, I love him. He's kicked 2. He's had his 7 touches. He hasn't been subbed off. He just sprints at the footy.
You know, he averages like 5 and 2, like 5 disposals, 2 goals, and like an almost hanger. Like, that's his stat line.
It's great.
It's awesome.
Oh, that's a huge win by the Hawks. Sicily is a good footballer, isn't he? Like, he's a defender who can have 40, but just put him at full forward and he'll get the job done as well. And he's kicked 2 last quarter goals to win him the game, 3 for the game. Just handle business.
I tipped him, and I put money on him at $2, which was great. Some of the odds in this one, Jev. Let's have a look. There's disposals, there's not fucking many. Let's have it. I don't think you couldn't even get Sicily for a goal. No, because he's a defender. They changed him halfway through. Luke Bruce finished with 2. Brucey boy, 250. That's nice. This is just a shocking game to bet on. Bailey Banfield for 2, Jev, your man. What do you call him? Banger Banfield. Banfield will either kick you 2 or 3 or kick you nothing.
Yeah, he either kicks 2 or he's at the pretzel stand eating pretzels doing bugger all banger. Yeah.
So, Jai Miss, apparently the boys call him Nev for Never Miss. I think they got the nickname wrong.
He definitely does too long of a nickname because he definitely does a miss.
So, what about Big Patrick Voss? Where'd they get him from?
1 goal, 3. I don't mind the look of Big Patty Voss.
He's a lump, wasn't he?
195, 21-year-old key forward coming along with a dust. They're going to be so good, the Dockers. When Tracy, Amiss, and Voss all come on, in like 5 years, they're all going to be like 26, 27.
If their defenders can hang around for a while, they're going to be interesting, aren't they?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, so shit game to bet on. Next game, the Showtime Swans are back. All my worries are gone, dust. We are fucking back. Showtime Swans beat North by 79 points. Hand them a good old-fashioned ass whooping. It was in the 80s. It was touching 90 for a while, but we let them get a couple late. They got chatted. So they were playing really well, North. Credit to them. They were playing really well. I'm just going back to the start of the first quarter so I remember it. So
Isaac Heaney liked your message just then, whatever it was.
What's this?
Isaac Heaney just liked you.
I didn't say anything. I didn't send him anything. So, yeah, they were playing really well. Quarter time, it was about even. I was impressed. Two snags later for Papley, the starter. He had 2 goals in 2 minutes after quarter time. Put us in front, and then it went James Jordan, Logan McDonald, Chad Warner, game over. We're up by about 40 points. So, yeah, we were just too good. We put the foot on the throat again, and we got it back to a bit of ruthless edge. Callum Mill's been out there. Apparently, he's ruthless as he's got a hard edge about him. I don't know if you ever heard Errol Gould's Dylan Friends, but he said the boys avoid Callum Mills at training a bit because he just trains so hard with so much intensity. So him being out there obviously brought the edge. Watching Luke Parker come back on, he got the standing ovation. He kicked the snag. I don't know if you saw, but while he was on the field, he was the highest rated player on the field. So he ended up with 13 disposals, 2 goals, 6 tackles in about 40 minutes of football. He played the whole last quarter and 10 minutes of the third. That's a fair game. 2 snags, 13 touches in a quarter. So he's back as a forward half mid. Mills is back as his back half mid. Isaac Heaney's got a rest mid-season. Come on.
Bryn Tackle just got bubble bath, did he? Old Bryn?
he was fuck.
Jackson Archer brought back down to earth. He'll be sleeping outside with the dog for the next week.
Papley got him a bit. He was a bit stiff. Papley's hard to play.
So we've got tape on it now. Jackson Archer can't play on smalls.
Yeah, Bobby Hill and Papley, if they're too small, he's going. But guys like Fritsch and who else did he get? He got last week. Who did North play? Gold Coast. Who did he get at Gold Coast? Can't remember. But yeah. If they're super short and Nipsey, he can't get them.
Nipsey Hustle, he can't play them. So Logan McDonald, Jev, this is a typical. If you had a big Swans multi, you would have filled your boots in this one. So Logan kicked 4, Papley 4, Hayden McLean, but it was Chad Warner, Jev. You did say I only flicked it over for a bit because I wanted to go back and watch the Hawks. Once you guys were breaking it open, I had enough. But he just took the game away, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was like 15 minutes and he's just like, I'm running. Mind you, the North had some really nice passages of play.
Oh, yeah. That one that ended a Larky goal.
LDU, over the top Shees,
and just
get it back.
All the talent that touched it. Wardlaw looked a step off the pace. They got him a bit, like they sort of taught him a bit of a lesson, old Georgie boy. Who gets the 3 dust? So Errol Goulden's had 41 touches, 30 kicks, 0 goals 2, but how many metres gained did he have? 738 metres gained. He became the first player of the season to have 10 metres gained for the season. 10 kilometres, Das.
I reckon Morgs had that in under 19s. Morgs would just wheel and go.
Wheel and go. And then Chad Warner's 2 goals, 31 touches. Now that Isaac Heaney can't win the Brownlow, I have to have a little sprinkle on these two to win the Brownlow. I just have to.
I think I didn't watch the whole game, but
I think
does Chad get it? When you're hitting the scoreboard,
2 goals, 3. I think it's Chad. Now that Isaac Heaney can't win it, you know how you sort of sell yourself in your mind. I think Chad Warner plays the most eye-popping game in the comp.
100%. He'd be close.
Now that Nick Dacos gets tagged a bit, it's not as eye-popping anymore. Bont is amazing. Pat Cripps' fourth quarter yesterday was eye-popping. But Chad's like, when we had to win the game against the Saints and he got it at half back last week and just started running through the middle, like it just stands out off the TV.
It does.
So now I'm just, in my mind, I'm making excuses that he's getting more Brownlow votes than maybe he deserves. So I have to have a sprinkle on him. And if I'm having a sprinkle on him, I'm having a little bit on Errol. And I'm just hoping one of them maybe pops up to win it.
Well, you've won definitely enough games.
Definitely
so the votes are going to go to those three. But I agree with the Warner. Like he looks like he's playing rugby sevens. Every time he gets the ball, there's cracks everywhere, and it's just a highlight reel. It's just him going full pace, no contact. He looks behind him, and there's just heaps of grass in and around him. So, yeah, a week's a long time in football, Jev, so well done. You're back on the winners list. Some snags. Logan McDonald for 4. He always pays heaps. $7 for a key forward.
He's coming along as a good forward, Das. Logan McDonald. It's like he's still young, but he's getting the shots on goal. Even though he missed 2 game winners the last 2 weeks, like it's still shots on goal. He's got a bag of 6 around the corner. Like no, he plays the forward line really well. He leads up. They hit him up really well. He goes back. He backs his set shot. He's coming on really nicely.
Papley was $5.80 for 4 goals.
That's nice.
I love him so much. Nick Larkey, I'll tell you what, his family are eating well this year. So another 3 goals is $3.60.
That is so nice.
They know he's kicking 3. He kicked 7 against the Swans a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely took the piss. Hayden McLean for 2 goals was $2.65. Warner, he's so short. $1.75 for 2, but you think, he's not going to kick. Like, just think for a midfielder to kick 2.
You can't put that 2 in your multi. So you're like, I can't have him $1.75 for 2. I'd take him at $2.40 for 2 to jack up the multi, but you can't trust him to kick 2 every week, but he fucking does.
Disposals wise, Errol Goulden, 40 touches is $12.
Yeah. Chad 30.
Chad, have a guess how much Chad for 40. Chad for 40 is 81.
Yeah,
I don't think he's
never
had it.
He's never had it because he's not outside like Errol.
No.
Like he's in and around.
Chad was still $5.60 for 30.
That's nice.
That's good. 25 Sheasel, $1.26. Fuck, he's short. All the rest are pretty fucking short here, Jev.
Colby McCurch is going to be a star. I just look at their. I think.
How much is he? He's a cream on top player.
Yeah.
You know, he's what the Blues thought Lockie O'Brien was.
He's going to be Norse Errol Goulden. Like they've got the engine room and stuff. He's going to be sort of like the all-Australian winger. He just stays out there, 100% game time up and back, and he's the best kick in the comp sort of thing.
Some of his kicking.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So the Swans get it done, Jev. North Melbourne, still promising.
Still promising. They had a crack. It's just like...
They just got jumped.
It was just jumped. 30 minutes of footy and it was game over and they just would have been like, whoa, and then they go back in the shell. Eddie Ford was great, Das. I saw you gave Eddie Ford a message. He was great. So
his brother's a wrestler.
Hey?
His brother's a wrestler.
Really?
Yeah. It's unbelievable. He's like doing like a local circuit in like Australian wrestling. It's hilarious.
Tell what I wish we did. We did a wrestling sort of card. Chops versus Chad. A little Insta post yesterday. Chops versus Chad. It would have been all time. Next game. I couldn't sleep last night. I've been pumped to talk about this game so much. The Dogs take care of the Blues by 14 points. Oh, this is good to watch. Talk to me, Das.
Weak. Fuck. They kicked 7 points in the first quarter, and I thought we were all over them. All fucking over them, and they just kept missing. And I had a post ready for Morgs. explain Jacob Wiedering in cricket terms, and it's Rahul Dravid 1 run off 100 balls, just going like this. It's just, he's the wall. Like, I still think he had a fucking unbelievable game. It was just the athleticism and some of the spots Jamara got to that he fucking worked his way back into the game. I was like, oh, he looks beaten. And he's had a shocker for about, 3 months? He's obviously had personal issues, and I think he broke up with his missus, but he fucking came to play yesterday. Of course, he had a career game against us. Give him the 4 and 20 award, Jev. Give him the pie. 4 goals, 20 touches, took the piss. So I'm usually on Jamara every week for goals. I don't. I also usually get on Riley West every week for goals. I didn't. He kicked 4. Charlie Curnow just fucking, he could have had a career, he could have had a career day.
He was giving Buku Karmas nightmares. The Dogs are lucky. He was giving him nightmares.
It's fucked, like a 14-point, you just need a couple of those to go through and you get the momentum back. And there's so many things that can happen in footy. So obviously, I'll just go through the fucking list, may as well. So Paddy Cripps, Jev, you could argue he probably gets 3 again yesterday. The way, yes, I know Jamara got his entries, but I still think Wiedering in that battle, defenders can't kick goals, so it's hard to what do you stack that up against? He got some when he was off him, but Cripps's last call, I honestly don't think that he went off.
Yeah,
he looked fucked, and he's just
unbelievable.
It's my 200th. I'm gonna work us into the game. Did you watch the whole game?
Nah, second half.
Oh, do you see the one where Curnow had it from 65 and just had a shot and he had Cripps opening the goal?
Streaming back. That was a bad one.
That's
he had so many options.
You just got to give it to your captain there. Blake Acres' first quarter was incredible.
He had 15 touches or something, didn't he?
Yeah, he was really good. While Setomi had 27, we got absolutely smacked in the arsehole contest. We just couldn't get anything going. And I put this down to Mark Pitnet. He fucking does my head in. The amount of times where he'll pull it out of the ruck and just try and kick it forward and to a Western Bulldogs forward. It's he had 10 clearances. To them every single time. He gives away free kicks all the time by just holding. But there was one right at the end of the third quarter. He had it, and there was probably 30 seconds to go, and you just got to try and kick it to a teammate. He kicks it to grass where there's 3 Bulldogs players, and they just take it the other end and kick a goal with 10 seconds to go. It's just got to fucking kill the clock. So he did my head in. Let's go down the list. Chera would have fucked so many multis. Where's Ollie Hollands is the slowest 60-kilo player in history, turnover machine.
He gets tackled, he looks like the littlest boy. He gets crunched into the turf.
So Zach Williams injured.
Hammy.
It was hammy.
I think it was a hamstring. Yeah. I was listening on Triple M on the way home, and it was hammy.
Cottrell in the side had to go, so he's got to go. Give him a run back in the VFL. We're getting smacked at clearance. We either need Kennedy full time or George Hewitt. So We've dropped George Hewitt. He needs to come back into the side. Marchbank looks so slow. He looks like he's put on 5 kilos, and just forgot how to run. He looks absolutely gassed. So Marchbank can get out. Owies was lively in the first quarter. But yeah, I don't want to see Pitnet in the side. We need Jack Martin back. Chincotta, he tried to throw around to a few different guys. So we obviously went to Bontempelli at the start. And then Bailey Dale was just fucking absolutely torching us. It was one of those games, I think it was they were doing their thing. We're fuck it, we'll just keep doing our thing and we'll see how we go. And then we just didn't adjust late enough. We missed our chances. They played a fucking awesome brand of footy. Yeah, Waitman and West up forward were just
they're super dangerous.
Waitman played the best. Side. He played the best defensive, offensive role. In that side, only kicked the 1 goal, had 12 touches, but checking Wiedering, tick leads, just looking dangerous.
He's a good footballer.
Yeah, he is. He's really good. So
Rory Lobb had a couple of big. I know you were bagging him in the first half. He had a couple of big moments in that last quarter. He had a big spoil. He had a big mark to sort of win the game.
So, yeah, I'm disappointed at some of the players. And Cripps got up after the game in the rooms and, like, just spoke to the team.
I nearly teared up watching that speech. Like, how much do you want to play for that bloke?
And he's just like, boys, like, we obviously got a bigger picture. You could tell deep down he just wanted to rip through half the people.
Like, we can't. It's me 200.
It's my 200th. Ollie Hollins, you're the slowest 60-kilo bloke in the AFL. Have a rinse. Go on, big. Give it to him.
All right, Duh. So I look at Carlton and all the hype around him, and it's Curnow and Mackay and Walsh and Cripps and Wiedering and DeConning and all these superstars, and second on the ladder. How good are the Blues? Should be premiership favourites. I'm like, what is the chink in their armour? I think you have the worst back six in the competition. I think you've got the best defender and the worst back six. So this is how I thought I'd do it. If you were drafting a back line against any other team in the top 8, the final top 8, I think Wiedering, so you're drafting 5 players. I think Wiedering would be pick 1. So go against the Swans. You'd go pick 1, Jacob Wiedering. Then you'd go McCartan, Blakey, Malikan, Rampy, or Mills. The next 4 would be Swans. If you did Freo, you'd go Wiedering, pick 1. Then you'd go Pearce, Brennan Cox, Luke Ryan, Jordan Clark. So the next 4 would be Freo defenders. If you were going Geelong, you'd go Wiedering, pick 1. Then it'd be like Stewart, probably Jack Henry. I'm just looking at their backline now just quickly so I get this right.
Kolajasny.
Kolajasny, probably Sam DeConning if he's playing back there. The next 4 would be Geelong. If you were drafting against the Bombers, it would probably be...
No, I'll take more of ours.
You'd take Wiedering, then you'd take Ridley, then you'd take...
That's about it.
No, you'd take Mackay, then you'd take probably Mason maybe, but I see what you mean in that one. You'd probably take more of yours. Laverty to just play on someone maybe, but you can be harsh. If you were doing the Giants, you'd take that's a chuck up the pick.
Taylor and
Sam Taylor or Wiedering, but you take Wiedering, then you take Sam Taylor, Jack Buckley, Lockie Whitfield, Connor Iden. I can do it for nearly Brisbane's the same. I can do it for nearly every team. If you're drafting a back line from the top 8 remaining, all the top 12, all the teams that can make finals, I think Wiedering's pick 1, and I don't think you'd have another pick until pick 30, another Carlton player picked. I think you got the most suspect back line going into the finals by an absolute mile. I'd be terrified.
So what we need to do, and that's why I feel our game, they've tried to structure it so much on team defense first, because we can't, once it starts going, it just zips straight through. So that's been the focus. Like they've said it this year, they're like, we're really trying to go team defense as much as we can, and then just trying to work your offense off that. But I just hope that all these losses, and just thank fuck that the competition's so close. Like we're still second.
Yeah.
So like you just got to make it. So once we get in, you just hope that we just peak at the right time, and then all these little losses, like the one against the Giants, is like, all right, we're not going to let that happen again. We look at this, all right, we're getting smashed in the midfield. You're out. We need this. We need maybe Hewitt in, and then he starts to come in and then starts to dominate over the next few weeks. And we really just try and iron out that side, that best side that we can get, and then hopefully we get a couple of finals at the G and we don't have to leave. So that's the goal.
Oh, but Lions win today. They go to 42 points. Freo and Lions, you could finish 4th or 5th, and you have to go to the Gabba or Freo first final.
Where's the rest of our team? So we got North, Port Adelaide at home, Collingwood, Hawthorn at home, obviously, West Coast and St Kilda. So you should go 5-1, 4-2. You should, but if we do, then we should hopefully finish second.
Yes, but the tape's out now that first of all, if you beat you guys around the contest and you just get inside 50s, you're going to score goals. It's exactly what the Swans did on that Friday night. Remember, we just started winning the ball, getting it in there, and just every time we went in there, we kicked a goal for 2.5 quarters. GWS did it last week. So if you're losing the contest, teams are kicking goals. It's not like you're stopping the bleeding. You got a great defense. It's Wiedering, and he's a corky away from getting a rub for 20 minutes.
I'd love to know how much different we are when we get to play at different grounds. It's like whether we're playing at those shitty venues or we're at Brisbane or we're at Marvel. I just think we're so much a better side at the G. It's like, it just sticks out to me. You know, you just think of like your best performance of the year and you're like, that's what we have to build around. That game against Geelong the other week, you're just like, put that team in.
Yeah.
Just, boys, there's your blueprint.
I like that. Yeah.
Every ball that came in defensively, it was just like we chopped it off. We were running well. Contest, absolutely smash them. Inside forward 50s, guys running everywhere. There's forward pressure. Like that's the blueprint that we have to try and get back towards. But
yeah. I reckon teams know they can't chip it around against the Blues. So the way Geelong played against Collingwood on Friday night, chip it around, possession, 140 uncontested marks, you cannot play that way against the Blues. It's get the ball and attack that back line with speed and have contests down in their half of the ground, get your midfield there and back your midfield against their midfield and just get inside 50s.
You know what? This is a really good win as well for the Dogs. Like Treloar was a late out as well.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't see him out there. How come he didn't play?
His calf in the warm-up was a little bit off. So
right. Who came in for him?
Garcia is the sub, but I don't think they ever activated him.
Yeah, I didn't think so. He must have played that day.
Yeah, maybe.
It
was a good game. Like it was fun.
It was good.
It was fun to watch. It wasn't super sloppy. Like it was enjoyable. Guys were kicking goals. You just marvel at Cripps. Is he the sexiest man in the AFL?
Oh, his last quarter was unfucking believable. So you think he's polled Brownlow votes the last 2 weeks, GWS and
I think he gets one against the Giants.
If he has, you just have to bet he's just home. If he has polled in these 2 games, and it's one of those live Brownlow night things, you just have to bet on him. I'm just going to quickly look at his odds. He's $3.50 right now.
What's my cash out? I've got a lot of bets. I'm going to scroll through here. Oh, no, that's an 100K one. I think my cash out's at 80. Yeah, $80.
They took all my Heaney bets away. I'm shattered.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. So I think the Blues have the worst backline in the top 8 by an absolute mile, and I'd be terrified.
Let's have a look at some odds quickly. Jamara for 4 goals, $7.75. That was nice. Riley West, $21. Charlie Curnow kicked 3 goals, 7.
Oh, the one he missed from the goal square. Did you crack the shit? Hit the post from the goal square.
I was just like, when Cripps kicked that goal, I'm like, we can't, can we? Like, here we go. Let's go on a run. That's one positive thing, knowing we can kick 5 goals in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, if you start winning centre clearances and contests,
as long as the clock's there, it's like, yeah. So that was Dog's ass. Harry Mackay.
Where was Sam Walsh?
Oh, he was, so a lot of contests he'd get at Jev, and he just sort of just tackled. Like there was no burst. There was no separation, but that's what's fucked about Cripps. He just hammers. So I'll shut up about the Blues. I know.
Where was Harry Mackay in the second half?
Yeah, he went missing. He had an awesome first half. That was pretty much his stat line in the first half.
3 goals, 14 touches.
Yeah, he had 1 touch in the third quarter and none in the last.
So he's had 1 second half possession.
I thought, yeah, I swear, I was like, in his first half, he had 3 and 13.
I was listening to the radio driving for the first half and just hearing how many fucking snags Mackay was kicking and how good this game was and all this. Then I watched the second half, and now that I'm thinking about watching, I'm like, I didn't see Harry Mackay or Sam Walsh have a kick in the second half.
That's doggies.
I'm going to have a look at Walsh's second half. 9 disposals in the third. Yeah, see, where Cripps had the best last quarter, Walsh only had 3 touches. 1 tackle in the last quarter. He'd be filthy at himself. Training's going to cop a hiding. Cripps had 10 touches, 1 goal, 4 tackles in the fourth. He was so fucking good.
He was the highest rated player on the ground. Fuck, I love him. 5
clearances in the fourth quarter, I think.
That's awesome. All right, next game, Jev.
Yeah, I didn't see much Saturday night footy. I was on date night with the Dove, so I'm not going to comment much. Let's go to the Essendon game first. Melbourne get it done by 17 points. Is this the biggest dogging of the season? This was on a platter. Here you go. Here's Melbourne without Gordon, Petrarca, Essendon. You want to finish top 4? You want to play a home final? Here you go, fellas. Have this team on a platter. And they lost. And apparently, feedback from a Bomber supporter, Das, it was too cold for them. It was too cold out there for the Bombers. They were just a bit too cold and a bit scared, and they just didn't want to be there. It was a bit chilly for the Bombers. Weak cunts. Melbourne get it done. Super impressed by Melbourne. That is one of the wins you talk about. That's coaching. That's a team united. You win that game. Like, I'm so impressed. I thought the Bombers were certainties.
Yeah, when you say, "Oh, they're a lock at $1.57," I'm like, no, they scare me because they're cheeks. And then you're like, nah, no Gawn. You talked me into it. No Gawn, no Petrarca. Oliver's not playing well. Yeah, maybe you're right. Petty's in the ruck, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, exactly.
And we don't like him. And they just fucking got it done.
Say it out loud. Like, yeah, no Gawn, no Petrarca. Harrison Petty, who doesn't even compete in the ruck. He's playing ruck. You've got your full team playing. You've got Stringer. You got Langford. Peter Wright gets subbed out. You got Nate Caddy. You got Durham. You got Merritt. I hear Durham's a pyramid player. Caldwell, Shield. You've got your ruckman, Draper. You've got every player playing. You've got Ridley. You've got Mackay. And you just get pantsed. You get dog walked. I can't trust Essendon as far as I can throw them. Weak fucking cunts. They should be furious with this loss. Furious.
The reason why I don't like them, Jev, so much is it's just not a list I can get around.
Yeah, I find this weird by you, but you just don't like the list. It doesn't excite you.
No, Dersma. Don't like Redmond. I love Merritt. Ben Mackay, like I already support one Mackay, so it's hard to support the other one. Kelly, no. Stringer, I don't mind him. Langford, he's not a bad player. McGrath, like he's all right. Harry Jones, no. Gresham, no. Perkins, no. Cox, he doesn't even know if he likes himself. Nate Caddy, I like. Welfie, no, not someone I can get around. Nick Hind, go have another monster. And Peter Wright, like they're just, Jeff, they're not players that I'd go and support.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, I just don't like if any of those players were in my team, I just wouldn't like them.
True. They're like they're all Ollie Hollands to you sort of thing.
Yes, all 60-kilo blokes that can't run.
Can't run.
So like the Giants, like you look at their team like that, they're a team that you love.
You love everyone.
I like all their players.
Yeah.
I just don't like the Bombers players.
Yeah.
That's where my hate comes from.
See Nick Martin kick 4 second-half goals.
Yeah, let's get some odds. Talk to me because I didn't watch this game.
No, I didn't watch it either. I know Nick Martin kicked 4 second-half goals. He's the highest-rated player on the ground by an absolute mile. 4 goals straight, 26 touches. I wish I watched this because I actually don't know what happened. But
I'll watch the highlights. I will. Where is Nick Martin?
How many touches did Clary have? It was Langdon and Rivers, was it? Clary were back to 25 touches. The nibbler, Neil Bullen, 25.
He must have run 25 Ks.
I'm going to look how many Ks he covered.
It's honestly a stat that you can just put down in the book.
Where do you find it?
Oh, nah. They might have taken it off. You used to be able to track everything.
Tracker. 25 touches, 25 Ks.
That's it. That's what he
That's
does.
a big day.
Nick Martin, 2 goals, 10.50.
Who was that?
Nick Martin for 2 goals, 10.50.
So you couldn't even get him for 3 or 4?
Nah.
You'd have to find that on stat, mate. Fritsch 3, Disco Turner, Chock's Chats for 3, Melksham 2. Isn't Melksham an impressive footballer? He's just come back off a knee at his age and he just gets the job done.
The milkshake.
Did you hear him on Tim and Gary this week? Got an interview about Tim and Gary. Did you hear him by any chance?
Nah, I could hear his smile though.
You can hear how big his teeth are, can't you?
Through the radio.
No, so his job last week against West Coast, his job is to play on like Jeremy McGovern, and he probably would have played on Ridley last night. And he was just talking about how you always play back shoulder on them. So you always play in their blind spot because they're looking at the ball, and you stay close so they don't just dominate and take uncontested marks, but then you're always in their blind spot. And he's obviously, I see Ridley's had 29 touches and 10 marks, but then Melksham's had 2 goals, 12 touches and a win. So he must have gone to Ridley, tried to stop him. I wonder who won that battle. I mean, Ridley's had some nice stats, but that's just his role. And he goes, I just love it. I relish playing on those super gun backs and just being on their back shoulder, getting out the back, making them worry where I am. So It's pretty cool that he was sort of saying how he does it, and he just loves playing on McGovern.
He'd be one of the only ones that likes playing on McGovern. So you put this on the radar early, Jev. This will be the last time we can get a premium price for Trent Rivers. So for 29 touches, so for 25, he was $2.12.
It's the last time ever. He was $1.30 this week for 20.
He had 18 at half time. He had it locked up. I was just like, perfect. Had that ticked off.
That is the last time we'll ever get it. So Langdon's had 1 goal, 31 touches. Dylan Shields come back and played some all right footy. That's why he had 28. I don't know how many turnovers he had.
Yeah, he's
4 turnovers.
He's almost like a local produce. He's from Edith Vale.
Yeah.
And he was just a hard running. So he was one of the first GWS academy players.
All we heard about when we were growing up was how good of a junior football he was. They went 4 years undefeated, that Edie team, didn't they?
Yeah. So he was super explosive. But now if he can become more hardened and just be that inside player, why can't he play another few years? So Jev, they've actually got what's their run home?
The Bombers.
Oh, so they've got the Crows at Marvel that they touch up every year.
They'll beat the Crows at Marvel.
They touch them up. Then they've got the Saints.
I'm going to say that's a 60-40 game. I'd lean Essendon, but I think the Saints are a chance.
Then they've got the Dockers at the G.
I am going to say that's a 50-50 game. I think the Dockers will put that down as a borderline grand final for them. They're going to the G right before finals. Let's go, business trip, win this game. I think that's a 50-50.
This one, Suns at Marvel.
They'll win that. It's away from home. It's too cold for the Suns.
And then they've got the Swans and then the Lions.
The Swans at Marvel and then the Lions at the Gabba. So they have to beat the Swans at Marvel. We'll have top spot locked up. We might be resting Brody Grundy or something. If they lose that game to the Swans, we've already given them their annual ass kicking. We do it every year. We beat them once a year. They'll need that game. If we rock up and beat them, they are going to be furious stars.
That's unbelievable. If they miss the finals...
No, they're not going to miss.
No, they'll play. They'll finish 8th.
It's where they finish.
7th or 8th. They've got to win 3 of the next 5.
Oh God, yeah. So they've been dog walked.
We've only got 5 games to go.
No, there's an extra round that they haven't got the fixtures out for yet. Round 24.
6 games.
Yeah.
6 games to go. All right, next game, Jev. I didn't watch this one either. Saints and Adelaide.
It was fucking pouring rain. Absolutely pouring.
So I was doing a double up multi, Jev. So I'd started with $20, turned into 40, 40 into 60. No, 40 into 80.
Yeah.
80 into 160. Bet wouldn't let me put on Carlton Bulldogs. So then I had to go for the night game. So I had Rivers for 20. Tick. Viney for 20 on the donger. Tick. Fogarty for a goal. Tick. Tex for 1. Tex couldn't kick 1. So $160 down the drain.
Yeah. This was pouring rain. As I said, I didn't watch much of this. I saw Philippu's goal. Have you seen his goal on the boundary on the left in the wet? Wait till you see it. That's a nice goal. He looks like, I know I call him a myth, but now he's done his stint in the VFL and he's come back as a midfielder. He looks like he's going to be a nice player. I can see why they drafted him. So I'm happy for him. It was just a slot from what I watched, but I'll tell you who I was impressed with, Das. And you just can't not be excited. Who?
The thrill seeker.
Did you watch his last quarter by any chance?
No, I watched some of the highlights this morning. He's huge. So he's been eating defenders.
My guy. He gets subbed on and he just plays out of the goal square and they sort of cleared it out and they used Tex to kick it into him. And Tex is a beautiful kick. He's like Charlie Curnow. From 60 out, he's a beautiful kick. He just got in there twice and he was just too big and strong. Dougal Howard was just scrapping and grabbing and reaching. And yeah, this is a good win by the Crows. 32 points. They've kept the Saints. I know it's raining, but they're only kicking 5 goals for the game. Why couldn't they kick 5 goals last week?
Well, it was 6-10 to 5-8 at 3/4 time. The Saints kicked 1 point in the last quarter and... The Crows kicked 4-1.
Yeah, Thorpe kicked 2 of those in the last quarter. He looked big. He looked like a full forward to build around. I'm super pumped for him.
You know who's in form? Ben Keys.
Yeah.
24 1 goals 3. He's kicked 4 and 4 the 2 weeks before, I'm pretty sure.
He just does the role. He's another one that sort of does the role. He would have been on Jack Sinclair and running him back the other way. Sharman 2, Wood 2, Philippu 1. Where's Jack Higgins? Where's Rowan Marshall? What about Dan Butler? I had Dan Butler for a snag. I'm like, you're a small forward. You'll get your chance. 0 goals, 9 touches.
When I listened to the pod and you said you had Dan Butler in there, I almost tripped over.
I'm just like, I watched him kick a goal or two against the Swans last week. I'm like, no Max King. If it's not Jack Higgins, there has to be a small forward lurking around getting some crumbs. That is the first and last time Dan Butler goes in the multi.
No, it feels at Marvel he would have. You can't play away from home.
It was pouring rain. Yeah, I think it was a bit of a dog of a game to watch this game. Yeah, I'm sorry we actually had a life and we didn't watch much footy last night. It's good seeing the Saints lose again. We're not getting as many DMs as we got last week when they beat the Swans. Fuck, they came for me.
So Jack Steele on Mythwatch.
Oh 19. My God. I put him for 20 in the 100K. I'm like, you're a midfielder. Pouring rain. Like, you'll get 20. He's had 19. He had 11 at three-quarter time, and I was going to, rip him to shreds. He's had 9. See, this is why I call the Saints the worst midfield in the comp. Because
it's a fact.
You've had 19 touches on a Saturday night in Adelaide. Like, just have 25. Put a stamp on the game. Like, fucking hell.
Doggies.
All right, that's part one. Did you do any odds? Did we have? There's nothing really.
Let's go through some.
You just got Rory Laird for 30, and you got Lockie Scholl for 2.
Who?
Go goals.
Yeah, hit me.
Lockie Scholl for 2.
Lockie Scholl for 2 was 460.
Cooper Sharman for 2.
Cooper Sharman. I actually like him, 470.
And Mason Wood for 2.
Mason Wood, 325.
That's about it. And then touches, we just got Rory Laird for 30.
Yeah, he's $1.60.
And then just everyone else just unders.
Yeah, everyone else to have a dog of a game.
Yeah. That's part one of the roast. It is early Sunday morning. You're going out for the day. I just
want to know as well, just quickly, goal kicking. It was a bad night for the fans. Nate Caddy didn't kick a goal.
We'll just quickly, because we did this last week, we previewed the Sunday before it happened, and then we got back on the pod. So let's see how we go. So I got a message from one of our friends, Kyle Rossi. He's up in Queensland. He was having dinner Friday night, and he was sitting on the table next to Matt Rao, Ben King, and a couple of other Gold Coast players. And he DM'd me straight away. He goes, Ben King's going to dominate this week. I was just having a chat to him. He goes, Gold Coast win, Ben King 4, Matt Rao 20. And he messaged me, he goes, Sportsbet have already paid me out this multi. It is a certainty. So I'm taking Gold Coast to win. Our man, Benny King, I'm going to take him for 3. Matt Rao's having 20. Anderson's having 25. Who do you think's going to win this game?
Yeah, Jev, the Suns are at home. They win.
At home. Richmond GWS, our 4x100 multi is alive. The 10K punters club isn't alive. It had Jack Steele for 20, Tex for 1. Fuck me. So that's not alive anymore. So we've got Tim Torreno to get 20, GWS to win. GWS just win this game. I can see Hogan kicking. I can see Tobes and Hogan kicking 4 each.
Yeah. No, I really hope Hogan has a big game. I love Hogan.
But Tobes might play on. I still really rate Vlosten and Nathan Broad. I think they're both good footballers.
A gun.
So Tobes might get one of them. And then Eagles, Lions. The more I think about it, the more I think the Lions are. Morgs is adamant the Lions are kicking a fuel price. They're kicking 130.
I'm interested to see if Lachie Neale just continues on. He knows that he's in contention for the Brownlow. He's like, hey, I'm gonna work through this entire game.
I wouldn't mind seeing Harley Reid try and stand on Lachie Neale.
Yeah. I also think Will Ashcroft will have an over 20 touch game. It's his 3rd game back. He hasn't had 20 touches yet.
Yeah.
I really think that he'll play he'll get closer. Maybe probably 24, 25, but I definitely think he'll get his hands on it a lot more.
Yeah, so I will see you later tonight after all these games are done. Enjoy your day out. That's an hour, and we still got another 3 games to go.
Beautiful.
See you, brother. We are back. Second half of the Sunday roast. The Sunday games have been played. Run and done. How was your Sunday, Deb?
Yeah, it was good. Got out, got a fair bit done, caught the back end of the last 2 games. So I don't have too much to go on, but our predictions were right. We said Gold Coast would handle business. We said the Giants would get it done, and we said Brisbane would get it done. So the Coasters were having a good crack there, but we may as well go back to the first game. So I did not see any of this, Jev, but I do have a question for you. I was kept looking at the stats. Having a look, Noah Anderson got his 25, which we absolutely love. Matt Rao, Jev, is he the most frustrating football? His best and his worst are so far apart. It's like you could look at, like, who was the opposite? Like Scott Pendlebury or like Nick Dacos. Like every week you know exactly what they're going to get. You honestly have no idea with Rao what's going on. But I just want to know who was best on? Who gets the 3?
Probably Anderson. But like, geez, they looked lively with.
Does Butters get a vote?
Maybe. He was pretty good. They looked so lively with Rojas Jr. back in the side, Morgs' man, Ainsworth back in the side, like Humphrey. They had those. So Ben King played really well. He played really well.
That was Crossy's mail.
Basically, Port Adelaide just got depleted with injuries. So Lockie Jones got subbed off with a concussion like straight away. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw the bump.
Put his head over the ball. Alex Davies sort of was going for the ball, but hit him in the head. And that was the one, like, he was grabbing his neck and stuff. That's the one that could snap someone's fucking spine. Oh, it was one of those ones I just hated seeing. And then did you see how Todd Marshall did his hammy das?
Nah.
Have you not seen it? He's lying on the ground and Charlie Dixon goes take up a mark and Marshall's foot is in the air and Dixon lands on his foot and his leg just goes backwards and he like rips his hammy. You got to see it. It is he got up limping. It's the big Chaz Dixon and he was hitting Chuck Dixon in the groin basically.
Oh.
But yeah, Gold Coast just handled business at home. They were really, really good. Ben King was good. Noah Anderson was good. They were good around. What they were saying on the commentary a lot was just how well they set up defensive of the ball. Like they just had their defense. They made it really hard for Port Adelaide to kick goals all day. Jason Horne-Francis had 0 possessions at quarter time, 1 possession at half time, or maybe 2, and then he started kicking a couple of goals. But they just had, so he had 0, then he had 2 touches, 1 goal. Then he had 6 possessions, 1 goal in the third quarter, and then only 1 in the fourth. They just really they got under his skin. They frustrated him. They really slowed him down. This would annoy me. Like Connor Rosie was okay. He's had 29, Butters 35, Houston 34, but I just thought they were just better. They were just better. The Suns.
Port Adelaide's forward line and back line are cheeks. They're so bad.
Yeah, and
like,
what the Dogs couldn't do last week, stopping Port Adelaide, just going through the middle with hands and speed. The Suns really set up to do that, and they were coming forward and laying big tackles. It was actually a pretty good game. Connor Rosie is such a roller coaster. Like at his best, you can say he's top. Like when he has his best game, this bloke's one of the best players in the comp. And then his average, you're just like, he handballed this one to Noah. He like shut himself and handballed this one to Noah Anderson in the goal square, who just ran into an open goal, kicked a goal, like cost him the game. Basically, it was a shocker. So our man, shaved head, Jed Walter was out there. 0 goals, 1 possession. He looked like he was hunting the ball, hunting the contest. He looked good. He just can't fucking just get it all together right now. I don't know if it's young. I don't know if it's too fast.
He had a really good start of the year. So hopefully he just has a really big preseason and they work on everything. But you know what's so weird? Like Gold Coast are 2 points, 1 game out of the 8.
Yeah.
And if they had won 3 home games, they're second on the ladder.
If they'd won 3 away games, yeah. They've lost to North away.
Yeah,
They just lose away. So, oh, God, they need to just write that. They did look like they had some intensity and intent about them today. And it looks like they actually liked what Dimmer said, like we need to grow the fuck up. But fucking Matt Rao, man, how can you only have 16 touches at home playing in the midfield? Like, he needs more strings to his bow.
He does.
But when he gets it right and he has those 35 touches.
He's one of the best to watch, and you're like,
22 contested possession game. Oh, it's so frustrating.
You know what's weird? He beats himself. Like, if you don't put any work into Bont, into Lockie Neal, into, like, I don't know, pick your poison, Dacos, they're going to dominate you. Like, who puts work into Rao?
No one touches him.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's up to him. Like, every now and then he has that jack out of the box game, and you're like, fuck me. Like, is he one of the top 10 midfielders in the AFL because he does it so differently? And then he just goes missing.
Yeah. If you Gold Coast, you've had 10 different goal kickers. Ben King hit the post twice, kicked 2 goals to hit the post twice. As I said, Malcolm Rojas, Morgs' man, was that dangerous, lively, fast around stoppages. So they just look like they always do at home, Gold Coast. You know, you remember, I don't know, you probably saw this on Insta. They were the first team to ever beat Port
Adelaide, yeah. I remember.
That was their first ever win in 2011. Gold Coast beat Port Adelaide. You know, they haven't beaten them since.
Wow.
They have not beaten them. It was 12 in a row or something. It was every year. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, whatever. All the way to this year's the second time they've beaten them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they were happy with that. So you got to get that done. Port, you can't trust them as far as you can throw them.
No,
I think there's a chance Todd Marshall might be done for the year. Like, that could be a 6-week hammy.
Especially if you got big fucking Charlie Dixon laying on you. So Ben King for 2 was $1.23 was short.
I got odds. I screenshot it as well. So
yeah, was Rojas a laid in?
Yeah, you got nothing there. I'll probably have him then. That's disposals.
Yeah, I've got him for nothing. Can't even get him for 1. He must have been a laid in.
So, yeah, Ben King for 2 was bugger all. Jack Lukosius for 2.
$1.68 I got.
$1.68. Rojas was $2.40 for 2. I've got here.
Must have been a laid in.
Bailey Humphrey, our boy, what was he for 2? $3.70. That's nice.
That's a good price.
Horn Francis is basically a full forward now. He's a goal a week. If you're getting $1.42 for a snag, we're taking the 100K. He was $3.05 for 2.
Yeah, nice.
He's more of a forward now. You know, Travis Boak kicked, I think they said on the thing, 20 points in a row.
Yeah, that was his first goal for the year.
First goal, he had 20 points in a row before kicking a goal. Let's do some disposals. So Butters for 35.
That would have been a fair
$5.90.
Nice.
Houston for 30 was $6.25. Yeah, that's nice. Flanders and Anderson for 30, $1.66. Anderson for 25 was $1.26, which is just a lock at the Gold Coast. And that's really it. Joel Jeffrey for 20. Is there any value there? I wonder. He was $2.18. Not too bad. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, Gold Coast, just get it done at home. Who are these two teams got next week? Who do you want to see Gold Coast play away from home, Das? They've got GWS at GWS. They're not going to win that.
Nope. And Port Adelaide have Richmond at home, so they'll probably win that.
They'll win that, and you still won't get a good fucking picture of them. Yeah, that's just that. It's just Gold Coast as usual. Next game, Giants just handle business. They beat the Tigers by 24 points. The Tigers hung around. They made it hard. The Giants were very good. Did you see much of this game, Das?
Yeah, I did. Saw most of it. Also, want to salute. Thank you, Tim Taranto, for coming through at the end. And thank you for the Giants. So we had our 4 weeks punters club. So usually we try and win 10K for anyone that's new or like anyone that listens. So the 10K punters club. So we've decided, sometimes as easy as it might sound to hit a 10-1 multi, we're like, let's just do one over 4 weeks. So we got 100 people in like that. So we had $1,000 and we put it on a $3.50 multi, $3.50. So this hit. So we had Chad Warner for 20, Harry Mackay for 2, Trent Rivers 20, Darcy Fogarty goal, the Giants to win, and Tim Taranto 20. So we got 3,500 back in the account. So next week we're going to bet all of that on another $3. Yeah. And then again, and then again.
The plan is we are the 100K pod, but we've never won the 100K. And it's sort of like, why don't we just do it over 4 weeks, do it on a journey? So it's going to be 1,000 to 3,500. Week 1, tick. Next week's 3,500 into 10,500. Get through that. Then it's 10,500 at another $3.50 multi into 31,500. And then it's one more of those to get us to 100 grand. Fuck, we'll be nervous who are having 31,500 on a bet. But it is only $10 over 100 people. Like, we've only won everyone $35 today. We've got to turn it into $1,000 each. It'll be fucking exciting. But this game this was a multi fill-up. Go look at I didn't have a multi. I just missed it. Go look at all the stats, all the numbers, everything. So Toby Green's kick 4, Hogan's kick 4, Green, Whitfield, 37-35. Everyone's had a lick of the ice cream.
So
I don't know. Yeah, you go.
For anyone at the start of the pod that doesn't know, that obviously has kept listening on, touches get lost in Tassie. Yeah. They're unbelievable. I was watching the game and I'm like, look, because there's so much space and it's just like everyone almost holds their position as much, so it's not as congested. Not everyone's over the top of everyone. So if you get it, you can always dish it quickly, go, and then go back, then sideways. So you don't have to go 1, 2, then forward. You can just keep going backwards, chip it around, and that's where the touches are. But it's just such a faster game. And yeah, as you said, the Tigers actually had a good crack, and you can tell Uze, like they've had so many players out and guys were missing. Like he's sort of having a laugh with them on the bench, like just trying to almost know, like, hey guys, this is what it is. It's a write-off. Let's try and enjoy it. Let's try and be as competitive as we can with most of the teams. Dan Rioli's been a dead set multi-legend this year.
Yeah, another 20.
He's been finished with 26, but Green Hogan, you pretty much hit the nail on the head at the start of the week. Where like those two are probably going to show out and probably kick 4 or 5 each, which they both did. Steely Green.
Yeah.
He was lively. He kicked his first and then he eventually kicked 3.
Number 48. He'll be paying a bomb when we look at the odds.
You know who if you could get a player to mentor with another player, I want Cadman to be bunking with Riley Thilthorpe in the off-season.
You want to see him the size of Thilthorpe and the same beard as well?
He looks so competitive. Like he's just a bit young. He's a bit green still. Like you give him a couple years, like he'll turn into Hogan.
Yeah. I love that he gets to be a number 1 pick in a good side, and his bad games can get away with it a little bit. Like it's not just thrown to the wolves, you are shit house. Like his bad games, he gets away. Like Max King's sort of gone through. Like when St Kilda were just average, but yeah, he's going to be a good player.
This is just a handle business game.
Handle business. I thought it was going to be more than this. The Tigers, they kept up. They were kicking nice goals. Don't know if you noticed the Giants. So they've got their handball game back. It always looks like they just want that one extra handball. They always give that extra handball. And even when like at footy, I'm taught as soon as someone you get the handball receive or you give it to someone that's shoulders out to goal, so they're running, looking at the goal, and they've received the handball, they're the kicker. I don't know if you watched a couple of times. They were giving it to a guy shoulders out to goal. He'd run his 10 and then give it one more time to get deeper entries, because shoulders out to goal is usually the cue for kickers. Or for defenders that this guy's going to kick. So then they lock on her. And then they were given the extra and then getting it in even deeper. And it was Hogan, it was Green, it was guys out the back. So I don't know, the GWS must like, and I don't know if you saw a stat, they've scored a goal from 27% of the inside 50s on the year. And then they scored from 47% of the inside 50s today. So 1 in every 2 inside 50 kicked a goal or scored today. So they must be super efficient, which is basically what Gold Coast need to get at. If you watch the Gold Coast game, they've got no connection going inside 50. That's where GWS are good. It's if they've got their contest right and their defense right, they are going to kick goals. I've got a theory to throw to you, Das, or float to you.
Here we go.
So Toby Green's season last year was one of the best seasons we've ever seen from an individual, or just from him and just the way he played. He did it differently. We've never seen anything like it. All-Australian captain. I want to know if that prelim final, if he was cooked, like banged up, just got through it, body was cooked, like been a massive season, and like, he would have played grand final day, but he would have been cooked. I want to know if he just say didn't start preseason this year till February, and they know they're going to be there at the end, and he's just been building and building and building, and he might have done a mid-year preseason and stuff and got even fitter, and now he's just hitting this last 6 weeks, this premiership runway, priming, ready to go. Because he was good against the Blues last week. He still was okay, and then today he's kicked 4. He's had how many touches? I think he had 17 touches. He had 4 direct goal assists, so he's given off 4 as well. And he's had his best game of the year, and it's like, it's his last 5 weeks here. He's going on just like a 9-week campaign of 6 games, 3 finals, and it's like, it is going to be, and it's not going to be what it was last year. He won't be All-Australian this year, but he's going to have the premiership medal instead, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's... You when you watch him play, well, it's the only thing for that at the start of the year. Remember, he had those 2 or 3 preseason games, and he was dominating.
Yeah,
and then they just sort of fell the wayside. And like, obviously, it's documented like he's just had his first kid, and you never know whatever else. Like he probably is holding some injuries, but you'd rather a 30% Toby Green than him not on the field, because he just draws 1 to 2 defenders. So No, they definitely played well, but as you said, how well the Giants move it. The Suns are 17th in the league, and that's why they were saying maybe that's why they do get Dusty just for that. No, his
That
leadership
last
quality,
kick.
just for his inside 50. He's a top 20 inside forward 50 kick. So let's have a look at some of these odds. So what's Tom Green, your man?
You go disposals, I'll go goals.
So Tom Green for 35 was $2.50. Whitfield for 35 kickouts was $3.25. What about Hopper? See, this is an easy game to bet because you knew these guys were going to have a crack.
Yeah.
So Hopper had 28, which was $4.30.
Toronto 25 was a tick.
$1.50.
That's nice.
Prestia, $2.45. Surprised he got through a game.
Into Hammy. Rioli for 25.
Rioli, last one, 25 is $2.15. And what about goals? So we got Hogan.
Hogan for 4 was only $3.15. Still nice. Tobes for 4 was $6.25.
That's good.
Who we got? How many did Shy Bolton kick? Just 2 was only $1.68.
Steely Green.
Yeah, I'm looking for him now. Your man. So Kaczynski for 2 was $4.50. He's 14-5 for 3. He's a full forward, Das.
Yeah,
Steely Green, 15-1 for 3, which is very nice. $4.90 for 2. Mansell, the Mansell piece. What was he? Your Morgs' man. I can't find him here.
Nah, be on the mantelpiece somewhere.
And then who else? Any singles? Like Kieran Briggs kicked one at $4.70. It's a lot of fucking goal kickers. If you backed every goal kicker, Dan Rioli doesn't look like I can bet on him here, Das.
Nah, Samson Ryan,
$1.75 for 1.
Liam Baker, that's it. They're all pretty sure.
Yeah, that's basically it. Callum Ward kicked 1, did he? He kicked 2. $6.25. That's the second week in a row he's kicked 2. He's kicked 2 4 weeks in a row, Das.
Yeah, it's
his
good
form here is 2, 2, and 2, and he's kicked it again. $6.25. He's $1.98 for an anytime. If they're playing on Sunday, that has to be a 100K leg. $1.98 anytime. Callum Ward.
They're playing early in the week. Saturday, first game.
No, we can't take him anytime then. Fuck.
But yeah, handled business. And then the last game, Jev, West Coast and Brisbane. So there was 3 times where they're like, Brisbane are going to fucking kick away with it. They're going to be celebrating in 17 minutes and West Coast bring it back. So they actually did have a really good fight at it. So the Lions ended up winning by 13 points. And I'm telling you right now, Lachie Neale gets another 3 votes.
2 goals, 34 touches, highest rated player in the game, kicked the sealer.
And he almost had, so the point that he kicked was with about 4 minutes to go, stoppage, almost certain he was on Harley Reid, pushed off, got one. The big O just put one over the back and went to snap it on his right foot and just missed.
Oh, he's a freak.
No, he's
playing some good football. I don't know when my next pyramid is. It's probably a week away. He has to get in the top 5 in the comp. He's a top 5 player.
You know what's a great move? Liam Ryan playing more midfield time.
Yeah.
He's
a
crafty.
Good footballer, isn't he?
He's so crafty. When he gets up the ground, he plays on at real obscure times where you don't think where the guys would just mark it. He would just turn guys inside out and play on and get link handballs. Him and Kelly had a couple of chain handballs up the ground, which were really good today. Who else did something good? Oh, your man Kai Lohman is an absolute live wire. Oh. That last quarter, he took it over.
He is a stud.
How old is he time marks?
He coming up 1, 2, and touches, kicked 2 goals and had 4 marks in the last quarter.
He reaches the ball at the highest point, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a stud. And isn't Oscar Allen just the difference for West Coast? They're gonna lose McGovern, and Barras is only 29, I think. So Barras is around, but knowing you've got Allen and Waterman in your forward line with Harley Reid, obviously, he's a star. He's only fucking 25 years old, 196 centimeters. He's kicked 3. He can just play.
They don't lose Waterman, do they?
Hey?
They don't lose Waterman?
Oh, I hope not, unless he's coming to Melbourne and coming on our pod weekly.
That'd be awesome.
Waterman Wednesdays. I'd love that.
When we got a message from 4 people when he kicked the first, and I'm in my head initially, I thought he kicked the goal and he's just grabbed the mud
so did I. I'm has he done a mud flap celebration? Yeah, that's what I thought when we got the message. This was an entertaining last quarter. Do you know they're fourth, the Lions? They're fucking fourth on the ladder, bro.
It's fucked.
They are fourth. I think they're playing the Swans next week at the Gabba.
And the Giants are coming as well.
If anyone can pick the fucking... anyway, the final 8, I'll be shocked. Das, can I just tell the fans about the little multi I arsed out of my arse?
Yeah, before we go, this is unbelievable.
So... I wasn't having much of a punt today. I had a little bit of money in the account. So I had $4 on this. $4. Oscar Allen 2, Waterman 2. Charlie Cameron 2, Cam Rayner 2, Kai Lohman 2, Liam Ryan 1. I'm like, it wasn't going to win. And then Oscar Allen kicked his second. I'm like, oh, yeah. And I had a look. I'm like, I'm a Kai Lohman goal away. That next passage of play, I watched him get a handball at half back. Then it went out to the wing and he went out of the green. I'm like, he's going to be top of the goal square here. They kicked it down. He just took this mark top of goal square. I'm like, if he kicks this, paid 48-1. I won $192 from $4 stars. Let's go. Let's go through some odds on this game.
So we had...
You do touches, I'll do goals if you want.
Yeah, so touches, Lockie Neal, Chalky Neal. He could dead set. I really hope there's like a tie or a 3-way tie for the Brownlow.
I'd love a 3-way Brownlow.
It'd be awesome.
Imagine it's a 3-way Brownlow and Heaney. So it's a 4-way, but 3 guys get up and Heaney just has to sit there.
Nah, they'd give him one. The boys would give him one.
They'd make him one. Or they'd get him up, like, get up here, son.
They'd buy him a crownie.
Yeah, what do you got to spoil? So Lockie
had 34, but for 30 was $1.89.
Cluggage for 30. Hewith?
Yeah, $4.50.
Then it's just 25s, Callie and Dunkley.
Kelly was $1.88. Dunkley was $1.37.
Who the hell is Zane Trudas? Is he the guy that's been in the VFL that he's a young guy they want him to play, but he does good numbers in the waffle apparently.
Yeah, he's only 22.
Right. And then goals. I've got goals here. So Oscar Allen for 3 was $3.50. Kyle Lohman for 2, $2.60. Waterman for 2.
And Ryan for 2.
Waterman for 2 was $1.62. Flying Ryan, did he kick 2?
Yeah.
Flaran, that's next page.
The only good one would be Lockie Neal if you can get him.
$4 for Flying Ryan. $6.75 for Lockie Neal.
Awesome.
He's on fire. Did Harley Reid play well, Dust? He just hasn't played that well recently, has he?
No, since he got suspended.
He hasn't kicked a snag since he got suspended. He's had 20 today, so 20's good, but I don't know. They're just not playing him centre forward enough. Like, do they want him to get a bigger tank and establish as a midfielder before they play him a bit more as a forward sort of thing?
Maybe. You know what they need? So you know where we were so above before the curve? Lockie Neal kicking goals. We had him down White Whale, and then he's just come on and started just booting them through.
He's fucking smashing them. Yeah,
in his podcast with Tom Mitchell, which is great, his Ball Magnets one, he said that his role didn't need him to be more centre forward. He was just like, which is all right. Like, that's fine. I get it if I'm not needed. But you can tell that he likes that role. Yeah. He likes being able to push forward, and he's fucking good at it.
Yeah. Yeah. He's coming hot for the Brownlow. Let's have a quick look at the Brownlow odds, Das. You think Cripps is getting 3 yesterday?
No.
Lockie Neal's now 7-1, 5th favourite. Cripps favourite, Dacos, Bont, Merritt, Neal. I'm having, because I just won a bet, I'm having a little dabble on Chad and Errol. I just have to.
Yeah, do it, 100%.
Little 10 on both of them.
How's Real came into $9, remember that?
Yeah.
Back out to 100. It's a long season. People can get injured and suspended.
I'll tell you I don't know if it's... Let me quickly get up. I don't know if it's worth a bet, but Tom Green's sitting there at 50-1 right now. So we know he gets 10 votes at the start of the year. Depends what you think. It depends what you think he needs to win it. But his last 3 weeks, Das, he's had 37 today, 33-1 against the Blues, 38 against the Crows, 35 against the Swans, 30 against Port Adelaide. That's his last 5 weeks.
I would double down. I keep doubling down on Butters, so he's at 67 at the moment.
He's had a couple of games where he's been kicking one. So I'm going to have another tenner on Tom Green right now at 51-1 in case he gets hot and the Giants get hot this last 6 weeks.
Also, if anyone is in our bet with mates group that we won, please don't bet it.
I set the max bet to 0 to 1 cent, so no one can put more of a cent on a bet. And then when you and me pick the bet at the end of the week, then we can change it again.
Perfect. That's a good one.
Hey, that's the roast. Hope you enjoyed another hour and a half. We got good feedback from the 90 minutes last week, Das. People like the longer roast.
Can't believe it. But if you guys are listening, hope you enjoy it. And
we used to pump it down to about 40 minutes, but I suppose you and me can talk some shit, so we do.
Time goes. We could honestly do. We could fill 3 hours.
Oh, one day we will. Hopefully, we've got a 3-hour daily show. Hey, see you later.
All right, see ya.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.